In this video, we're going to take a look at target audience for OCR Creative Eye Media R081. So first things first, what's a target audience? So a target audience is a group of people who all share a common interest. Now, the target audience for products can be split up into many subcategories, including gender, age, location, interests, such as things like sport. Now, when creating a product, you always need to think about the target audience before you begin. So first things first, let's talk about gender. So gender can be male, female, other, or those who don't want to be categorised. So you need to think of the following things. What things do men generally like? What kind of things do women generally like? So you have to do a little bit of research. What kind of colours, style, and what kind of things do you think appeal equally? So you might have to do a survey, you might need to go and ask people, you might need to do some online research, but you should have an idea of what generally gender's like. Now obviously you can generalise very easily and you can say all boys like blue and all girls like pink, which obviously isn't strictly true, but when you're doing your coursework or answering an exam question, I wouldn't worry too much about, are you exactly right? However, when you're actually making a product, you need to be a little bit more broad and think about how you're actually going to appeal to that audience. The next thing, you've got age. Now age should cover a specific group or cover a specific range. So if you're doing a piece of coursework and you're stating your target audience is children, you can't just put kids. You need to say, right, children of the ages 11 to 16. You need to be really specific when you're doing your coursework. If you're doing an exam, I'd still try and be as specific as you can, but you can be a little bit more general in the exam question if it says name something other than gender that could be a target audience, and you put age, that's absolutely fine. But you need to think of, how would you plan for children? Would you change the colours? Would you change the language style? How could you make something appeal for teenagers or adults or elderly people? Statistically, if you look on different websites and research, you can see that certain colours appeal more to children, like primary colours, and bright colours like reds and blues, whereas teenagers sort of still like bright colours, but sort of get a bit more in their spectrum, sort of liking alternative colours like sort of greens and pinks and things a little bit more, and then adults for some reason seem to like yellow more. So you need to think about the kind of colours you're going to use. Now ethnicity, so this is a group of people that may belong to a certain category of people because of their background, ancestry, or their culture. Now we need to be really mindful of other people's cultures when we're creating products, because some cultures have special beliefs and some actions that you do may offend. So if you do certain hand gestures or swear in front of certain people, or even things like food, like if you was hosting a religious festival that's supposed to celebrate lots of different religions and you was only selling pork, for example, that could offend other religions. So you need to be really careful and do your research about who you may or may not offend. So we need to make sure we take all of them into account to ensure that we're being nice and inclusive. Now your income and occupation, so that's really sort of going down to how much money somebody has from their wages to spend on things, but it also could cover the job someone has. So you might have a higher income or a lower income, so you get paid a lot, you don't get paid a lot. You might have a different target audience based on whether people work indoors or outdoors, whether they do physical work or not, and their travel capabilities. If you're hosting a conference for people who do labouring, construction, you're not going to host a midweek, middle of the day function in an IT suite, because you're probably not going to be using computers and most of those people should be working. So it wouldn't really make much sense. So it's thinking about how you target those people, whether it's something from a music festival, you're going to have your music festival midweek, the location of your festival, you're not going to stick it in the middle of nowhere because people need to be able to get to there, and things like that. So it's always thinking about those different elements of people's income that you need to take into account when doing something. And location, so nice and easy refers to where somebody lives or spends their time. Now that could be anywhere in the world. So if you're making a website and you're targeting people in China and it's all in English, that's not really that helpful for them. So you think about what language they speak. Will it be a second language? Quite a lot of people speak English in lots of countries, so that helps. But if you're going to a country or promoting your products in a country where English is a second language, then they might not understand the message as well and things would get misconstrued. Now, how close are they to the product? So if it is a music festival or something, how much they're going to have to travel to get there, and where does that person live? These can also interchange, so income and location sort of can go hand in hand. If you live in quite a rundown poor town, for whatever reason that is, and you've got a low paid job, you're not going to be able to do maybe go to a festival abroad because it costs a lot more money to them. So it's always things you've got to take into account. And this relates to coursework and your exam, because we don't know what you're going to get for your exam question. You might get a music festival you've got to talk about, it might be a brand of chocolate you've got to talk about. So we need to think about, if you talk about packaging and things, what kind of language are you going to be using. And then we've got accessibility. So this category is all about making sure that the product that you've planned is available to as many people as possible. Now, is it perceivable? So can the end user understand the message and can they use the actual product? Is it operable? Can they actually get access and actually do something with it? If you've got a really interactive website and you're targeting people who don't have full function of their hands, then how are you going to make it operable for them? Is it understandable? So can they understand how to use it and understand the actual output of the product as well? And it should be, when you talk about accessibility, we're not just talking about everybody who's got disabilities, so this should be perceivable, operable and understandable to regular users as well as those with disadvantages. Have you got alternate text on your pictures for your website? Have you got a means that screen readers can, or braille displays can actually access those things on your website, or those things on your comic strip and things like that? So it's really important that we're making sure as many people as possible can use our products. It means you're going to sell more, and it means you're going to be more popular with those kind of audiences. So if you've got a history of your products being really, really inclusive of people with disabilities, then people are going to talk and it's more likely they're going to choose your product. So it's just things like that we've got to take into account, which makes things better for our product. And in regards to our exam, having an understanding of this helps us get some more marks. Now, in the exam and coursework, so in the exam you get questions sort of on the following. So state the target audience for this product, or name 2 aspects of target audience that are most appropriate for this festival or band or advert or whatever it is. Whereas in your coursework, you need to be able to think of a target audience. You need to categorize the target audience for your product. So say, right, my website is aimed at students from 18 plus. You need to justify why you've chosen that. And you've got to design your product to appeal to the target audience and explain how you've done that. So you'll be doing this in your LO2 part and your LO4, saying how successful you've actually been. Now, going back to an exam question, so again, just like in the last video, if you've seen that, I'd like you to read the question, pause it, it'll take you about 4 minutes to answer the question, and I've got answers on the next page. So the question is, when creating the pre-production documents for a documentary film, the target audience of the final product must be considered. Winged Breath, which is a band in this example, has a target audience that ranges from 14 to 30 years of age. So state 2 aspects of the target audience other than age that should be considered in the pre-production document. So other than age, 2 things that we've spoken about in the video, and then during the pre-production of the documentary film, the age rating of a DVD needs to be considered. State 2 types of content that may affect the age range of the DVD. So pause the video, answer the question, and we'll go through the answers on the next page. Okay, for the answers, so anything like gender, location, income, interest, or ethnicity. So it's for a band, they're going to be singing songs on this video, they're going to have like a live performance. So we need to take into account, what kind of genders are the songs, quite inclusive, or I think with the case of a lot of rock music, that sort of, if it's a male band, they usually say a lot of things about women in their songs, things like that. Location, so again, if you're doing a music video or a video of a tour, what country is it being filmed in? So is that going to relate to the audience you're selling it to? Income, so what kind of money do these people have? What jobs do they have? What occupations do they have? What they're interested in, and what their ethnicities are like. If you've got, if you're targeting, quite strict Catholic or Christian audiences, and you've got a song that's full of swearing and songs about Satanism and things like that, which happens in some genres of rock, then that's not going to be very appropriate. And then the age rating could get affected by things like nudity, swearing, violence, and sexual content. So for that answer, any of those sort of four, or two of those four would get you the answer. So a lot of, again, if it's an adult band, quite often they swear in these live tours, people take the shirts off, things like that. So it's something that you need to take into account if you was doing a live concert DVD that was targeted at 14-year-olds and up. And nice quick one again. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and please make sure you watch the video again if you're not sure on things, and make sure you're practicing those exam questions. And I will see you in the next video.